drums to the front. March!
The Colonial Williamsburg Fifes and Drums, also known as the field music of the Virginia State Garrison Regiment, carries forward the tradition of military music. Since 1958, visitors in the revolutionary city have enjoyed the musical performances and experienced the history of the American Revolution. Colonial Williamsburg field musicians are drawn from a waiting list of young community applicants. These boys and girls begin their military music education at the age of 10 and practice daily for the next 8 years until they have graduated from high school, by which time they will have memorized over 300 tunes. To understand the daily and meticulous preparation it takes to be in the Corps, you will get a glimpse of a full Corps ensemble, snippets of a daily march, and a full interpretation held by 2 senior Corps members. Enjoy!
The first ceremony of the day for the Continental troops was a reveille. The fifers and drummers, roused by the night sentries at daybreak, massed themselves and heralded the beginning of the soldiers' work day. Today's reveille march from Scotland is entitled, "Hey Johnny Cope, are you woken yet?"
Dismissed.
Well, we hope you liked Colonial Williamsburg. We hope you liked the presentation that we had. We're going to go head back, and hopefully you can meet us there.
Good afternoon. My name is Fife Sergeant Fry, and this is Qualified Sergeant Major Provancha. Today we're going to tell you about our instruments, the field snare and the fife. I'm going to start with my instrument, the fife. It is a very basic, lightweight, small instrument. There are no moving parts on this fife. The three static parts, however, is this black body you can see right here. This can be made out of any hardwood, typically granadilla, as this one is, an African hardwood. And on the ends you can see are two small metal caps. These are called ferrules. And what the ferrules do is help protect the fife against drops and warping from a very hot climate to very cold climates. Now, the part you can't see that makes the fife work is a small cork. Right here, in between my fingers, within the fife is a hollow instrument. And when I blow air over the aperture hole, it redirects it to the right, and then I can pick up or place down my fingers, and that's how I create different notes. Now the fife, besides from this being used on the battlefield, was also used in the encampment. And on a good day, the fifer and the drummer can be heard about a mile away. So obviously, if you're sitting right next to a fellow soldier playing at that high pitch, is not very good for their hearing. So the fife can be lowered an octave to be much more pleasurable to the ears. To demonstrate this change between the octaves, I'm going to play a tune called Fisher's Hornpipe. In the first half, you'll be able to hear the lower octave, and the second half, I will raise up an octave. Thank you. Ms. Provancha?
Hello, my name is Claire Provancha, and I'm a snare drummer. So what we have here is a much more complicated build to the snare drum than the fife. So I'm going to start off with the shell, which is a steam bent piece of wood that wraps around the drum, gives the drum its main shape. Now here you're going to see it ends right here with this seam, usually it's glued, but it's also held together by many decorative tacks. They can be in any metal, brass, silver, whatever you'd like, and any design you want on the side. These two heads, these are called heads. It's called the batter head, the head on which I batter, on which I play. Then the snare head, the head with 6 to 10 catgut snares. They're really intestine, but we call them catgut to be cute. Here you'll see two counter hoops holds the heads, the batter head and the snare head, onto the shell, onto the main piece of the drum. And everything is held together by 50 feet cotton and or linen rope. These leather pieces you see here are called leather ears. You pull them up to release tension on the drum so it's ready for storage, and then you pull them down evenly around the drum to create an even playing surface on top. Here you have a muffler which muffles the ringing of the snares, so you have a nice muffled sound. Now, here you have the snare strainer, so you tension your snares. Now, as a drummer, I do not have the privilege of written music, maybe on a very, very rare occasion, but we learn them phonetically. We learn everything phonetically or by ear. Now, we learn things by rudiments, very short, repetitive patterns that we can fit and create bigger tunes out of. A way to demonstrate to my superior officer that I know these rudiments 100% is I would play them in a sequence: open to close, close to open again, or slow to fast, slow. I am going to demonstrate this with the long roll.
Excellent. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the fife and the drum were used on the battlefield. Now, you've learned a little bit about the fife, and you've learned a little bit about the drum, so we're going to combine the two. The primary job of the fifes and drums was to perform what are called duty calls. Now, duty calls are very short, repetitive tunes that could be played independently of each instrument. So say, if I was wounded or missing from the battle, Miss Brabantia could keep on playing the duty call, and the soldiers would still be able to receive the message. We're going to play two duty calls for you, but the first one we're going to play you would most likely hear in the camp, called Drummer's Call. Miss Brabantia?
This is played to gather all the fifers and drummers to work, to come together, and so we can then go on throughout the day and play all of our tunes collectively. Fifes and drums, attention. Fifes up. Ready. Down. Rest.
Now, the next duty call, ceasefire, would most likely be heard on a battlefield.
Ceasefire tells both sides, because we are very close proximity, that the soldiers are going to stop firing. It's not a retreat. It's not a charge. It's a ceasefire. Everyone just stops firing their muskets. And this would be repeated many, many times, because some people would be deaf from the cannon or musket fire. So this would be repeated probably for 10 minutes on end. Fifes and drums, fifes up. Ready. Fifes down. Rest. All right. Well, thank you so much for leading us and watching this video.
Fifes and drums to the front!